The Bronx's Kingsbridge Armory has been vacant for quite some time, but the folks at the National Cycling Association are hoping to change that by renting the landmark for 8 weeks, hosting several events, including youth programs and a 6-day bicycle race, I should say. They want to develop free cycling programs for youth to help them stay out of trouble and also stay healthy with some of the world's best cyclists and also attract tourists to Kingsbridge Road. CEO Jack Symes and Director Michael Green of the National Cycling Association are here to further discuss their plans for the Kingsbridge Armory. Gentlemen, good to have you. And as we said, Kingsbridge Armory has been quite dormant for some time, and you guys are trying to insert cycling into the mix. What's been the feedback so far in terms of getting you guys in there?
Feedback's been great. I mean, all the way along the road, we haven't met any resistance that has not been insurmountable. You know, it's been actually very positive. And one of the reasons for that, I think, is cycling. It's hard to bring up negative things about cycling. If I say, you know, what color was your first bike, you remember, and it's pretty positive. But cycling is a very broad sport, all the way from the high-end pro level, Olympic level televised sport, all the way down to youth grassroots programs, and bikes are even used for transportation. So it's quite broad, and it's being well received.
When we talk about cycling, particularly in the Bronx, and talk about cycling, particularly at the Kingsbridge Armory, I would say, Michael, that this is nothing new, because this is something that has been done years ago.
Right. Well, there were major cycling events at the Armory from the 1920s through the 1950s, and this is a program from a major race that was held in 1948.
When cycling came back to the United States, 6-day bike racing was a sport that was invented here in Madison Square Garden and is now worldwide. And when it first came back to the U.S. after World War II, the Kingsbridge Armory was the venue. So
they did it at the Kingsbridge Armory, 6-day bike race, and as a matter of fact, you're showing the program they showed was actually from 1948. And so what's it like when you're trying to, quote unquote, reinvent the wheel, if you will, now in 2011 at the Kingsbridge Armory? What's been the process?
Well, we're looking to do a two-phase project now, where first we're looking to come in and do a demo event. Like you said, we would rent the place for 8 weeks. And the highlight of the 8-week event would be this 1-week 6-day bike race,
which is an international.
Right. And we think that, I mean, there we want to demonstrate to the city that we can create the Armory as a destination place for tourists coming to the city, that we can hold, you know, major events. And then the other side of it is that we would use the track that we build and a BMX skate park that will be included with the demo, to show how effective programs that we'll be running can be for developing youth programs and taking on some of the very serious problems that youth, in particular in the Bronx, have with obesity, asthma, etc. And some of the programs that we'll develop will directly take on those issues.
So let's talk about what people could do to be a part of the process and what you guys got going on now.
Well, stage one of the process is the demo event that Mike mentioned, along with all the ancillary activities. What's going to drive this is sponsorship, and so we're at this phase now where we're going out and beginning to pitch it to corporations, to the event, what it is, and lock in some television for it, etc., etc. But besides that, we also have to get the youth programs in place, and we also have the technicalities of how do we move the velodrome in there. We have to move everything in, the velodrome, the stands, the portable restrooms, concessions. That's a big part of it. And right from the get-go, we're going to reach out into the educational community, because this has a lot of things that go with it. The building of the track is art, design, running the track, marketing, language, athletics, everything all in one. We're going to begin reaching out now into the Bronx community, involve them in this whole process from the get-go, from the demo on.
Mike, if somebody says, why the Kingsbridge Armory, why would you say?
Oh, it's a tremendous facility. And, you know, we've been interested in putting the standard size track for Olympic regulations for world competitions is 250 meters. And the Kingsbridge Armory is the one building in the city that will accommodate that size of facility. The Armory is also big enough that we can incorporate some other great activities like the BMX skate park, and just facilities that will be available in the Armory, from teaching people to ride to a place to engage people in learning to get into the sport and getting into just bicycle riding.
Right. Is the sport picking up steam these days?
Bike riding is all over the place, all over the city. It's becoming tremendous.
And so we're looking to see whether or not this actually will be able to come to the Kingsbridge Armory. What's the process from here on in?
The process of putting all this together?
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned before, it's sponsor driven, so the first thing we have to go after, and we're doing it now, television and corporate sponsorship from the level of producing the major event right down to the kids' grassroots programs. It's all going to happen at once. And so, for example, XYZ Sparkling Water Company would come in and give us a grant to put these kids' programs together. We'll go out and get free bicycles that they can use. And it's what we're involved in right now.
And at the end, what are you hoping that people take away from all of this?
That that this should be made a permanent facility in the Bronx. That it's going to really, do everything that the Armory can become. In terms of making it a destination event, in terms of being great for the local community, as a local community resource for local activities.
And you said it does fit the regulations, so it does have the size enough and the capacity enough to be able to do that.
It's a great building. It's a huge free span space. That's wonderful to see. It's a traditional New York. When we were fortunate. We just did a press conference there, and we had Ralph Sherman, the foremost velodrome designer in the world, over to put the velodrome in there, and he's very enthusiastic about cycling coming back to New York and the youth programs and everything. He looked at the steel girders and he said, wow, this is really New York. This is a great space, a wonderful. It's exciting just to see the space, and to be able to turn it into something involving a modern, broad sport is a very thrilling thing for us.
And we saw the contact info at the end of the screen telling you that you can email. Is there any other info that we can pass on for people who might want to be a part or help you or even possibly a potential sponsor?
I think the best thing, go to our website.
Right. Go to our website or get in touch with us.
And our website is NYC Cycling, NCAcycling.com. You built it.
That's right.
You ought to know.
You ought to know. That's right. Well, thank you guys so much for
pleasure.
coming and sharing with us, and best wishes. And we'll continue to monitor this. And it's right down the block from us, so hopefully we can see some good cycling right there.
Yeah,
great.
Thanks.
All right.